Hello, I'm Fallon Fitzpatrick, Master Celebrity Stylist and CEO and founder of the New You School. And this is Erika Rivera. Erika, do you want to give us a short introduction of who you are?
Hi, my name is Erika. I'm a Hispanic New Yorker. I have some experience belly dancing, singing, acting, um, and I'm just pretty much all around creative person.
Awesome, thank you. So I am so excited. I am gifting my New You program to Erika here. And the reason I chose to gift it to her is because she just like got to my heart, and I love her story, which we're going to be following and sharing during these next 12 weeks, because the class is actually starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. And I just really wanted to empower her and help her, because I believe that she is badass and she's going to take these next 12 weeks to really transform her life. So Erika, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you living right now?
Right now, I'm actually currently at a residential program. It's um, it's a sort of transitional place to help people that are in recovery from alcoholism and drug addiction. It's a place to help you gather yourself and prepare you for the world, more or less.
Awesome. I love that we have this in common. We have a lot of stuff in common, actually. But I'm also sober, and I've been sober for like a total of maybe, I don't know, 20, 35, like 11-ish years. So I'm really
That's
excited that we
amazing.
can start this, journey, both being sober together. And
Yeah.
what do you want to transform in the next 12 weeks for your home situation?
Yeah, well, I definitely need lots of help with housing. I could honestly say that I've never had my own place.
Mhm.
Um, and I would definitely like to have a place of my own. Um, I could use a lot of financial help too because I haven't. I've been in here since COVID. They don't let us out, and I haven't had like any steady flow of income either for some time actually.
Mhm.
So that would be awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, and I definitely work with everyone in my program on, you developing your dream career and what it is that you really want to do, and empowering you to, change all the areas in your life, because we have to be 100% responsible for everything in our life. That's the only way that we're going to shift. But it's also really awesome for everyone here that's following you to see your story and what you're going through, in case people can provide resources, because there's so many people in New York and that
Mm.
know a lot of people and know a lot of different resources and stuff. So this is awesome for that. What would you say is like your dream career that you want to create out of this 12-week program that we're gonna partake on together?
So it might sound a little far-fetched, but I would like to do something where I could include a combination of the things uh, that I'm really good at and that I enjoy doing. Like I I was belly dancing a little while back, and I was doing it professionally. Haven't done it for some while, and I also would like to do some stuff on TV and some singing. Like I play the guitar and I write music, and so I guess a combination of like music and TV.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And one time, so everyone, we're going to be doing lives every Friday at 5 p.m. Erica and I, to check up, on her story and what she's getting out of the program and how she's transforming. So on one of the live, did you want to sing or play guitar or something for us?
Excuse me?
Would you want to sing or play guitar or something for us?
Yeah. Yes, I'm a little nervous, but yes.
Totally catching her off guard with these questions, everyone. Um, If you're really lucky, you'll dance for us, but I haven't asked that yet.
Maybe do it all at once.
Exactly. I used to take belly dancing, so I'm like obsessed with it. Okay, let's talk about the challenging stuff. So I know you mentioned that you want to me, you mentioned that you want to transform your relationships. And that's one of the areas I work with. I help people get out of abusive relationships and people that have been through narcissistic abuse. What has been your experience with that, and where do you want to go?
Yeah. It's been a lot of I've encountered a lot of abusive relationships, and I've encountered a lot of narcissists. And it's interesting. There's different types of narcissists. Like there's the ones that you can't tell they are. I believe those are called COVID. That is like poor me, and but it's all about them. And then there's the ones that they're like really obvious, like full of themselves. But what they have in common is that they will gaslight you and put you down. And, it's been to the point that I've experienced physical abuse, so I've experienced emotional, mental, and physical abuse. And that really could do stuff to your self-esteem. So I would like to have actual, loving, uplifting relationships. I've suffered a lot of consequences due to the abusive relationships. Like a few months ago, I had a bunch of my hair pulled out, so it's like growing in pieces. And there's times where I look at myself in the mirror and I see the chunks growing, baby hairs, and it reminds me, and I'm like, wow, it's just a lot of things that come to my head. So, but it's something that I definitely have tried to overcome, but it's been very difficult.
I'm really glad that you brought this up. I actually had my hair ripped out too, which I told you very briefly, but I remember I was in my car and I used to smoke, and it was so gross to smoke at the time, but smoke cigarettes, and
Me too.
my boyfriend at the time was standing outside my car, and he called me the "see you next Tuesday" word. And I
Right.
remember I flicked my cigarette at him, which is like totally inappropriate, but I was just whatever, young and
Yeah.
dumb. And he like reached through the window, and it's only open like this much, and he grabbed my hair and ripped it as hard as he could. And then my head hit the window, and I remember it was Halloween and we were supposed to go out that night. And I'm from Poughkeepsie, New York, so it was upstate. And I was just like sobbing because like my hair was coming out in gobs. And
Yeah.
I broke up with him. But then on Thanksgiving, like 3 weeks later, a month later, he had his cousin come to my friend's house, and he was hiding in the back seat of the car. And his cousin was like, come out to the car. Woke me up at like 3 a.m. after we'd went out. And he was talking to me, and it was like I guess a Suburban, I don't know, like the really big trucks that have 2 back seats. So I didn't see him. He was hiding in the back
Oh.
seat. And he got out of the car, and that's when he punched me and knocked my tooth out and threw me from the truck outside the car, like the high truck, onto the ground and
Oh my
against the wall, and
God.
like threw my shoes at me because my shoes had come off when he threw me. And that's when I moved to the city. And thank God, because I'm so glad I've been living here. Like this is New York City, like right there. So like I've been, I'm really happy that I moved here. So many opportunities versus upstate. Like nothing wrong with upstate, but I'm just glad I moved. But
yeah, I hear you.
and then I continued that pattern, and it's been like 10 years now that I haven't had any of that, the physical.
Wow.
And the emotional has been, I don't know, a few years, I would say, because I was like, why am I keep attracting the same type of people over and over?
Yes.
And that's what I really want to work on in this group with everyone is, getting to the underlying issue, because we all have these like core beliefs that comes from our upbringing, our early childhood experiences, the way our parents or our mother or caretaker treats us, that like we have beliefs about ourselves that we deserve, or it's not possible to have people that can treat us better, or we're attracted to them, right? Like I didn't want to sleep with anyone that didn't have like a dangerous vibe about them. So now, I'm turned off by that thing. Thank goodness, but it took many, many years. So what I'm doing in the program is really helping people to heal the underlying issues. And it takes, a little bit of time, but hopefully we can get you to not be attracted to and not be attracting those type of people. So
yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're attracted to
definitely.
men. Are you looking for eventually to be in a relationship with a man?
I'm not gonna lie, I've been looking for a while.
Okay, okay.
But I'm just like, if it's gonna be like the same pattern, it's just not worth it.
100%. And I think that's the point that, I want people to get to is like right now I'm single and I'm actually happy with it. And it's like the first time that I've been happy with that because under like before it was just a missing for me and it felt like a hole. And I was just like, there's something
Yeah.
missing. I want to have kids. I want to have a family. And it's like, why? It's like, because, I thought that was going to
Uh,
fulfill me somehow. And it's nothing wrong with like, wanting to have a family, but at the end of the day, anything on the outside doesn't fulfill you. Like other people, like there's always, when we first get into a relationship, it might be fulfilling in the beginning, so it's like exciting or whatever. But it's like whatever we're trying to fill, eventually that that issue is going to come back out because say we want like love or affection or attention from the other person, eventually that person's going to have a shitty day and then they're not going to give us that
yeah.
love or affection or attention, and then that wound is going to come right back up. So we need to heal the wound that is creating these desires so that we can become whole and just say like
Mhm.
I don't care, like I'm good if I meet someone, great. If I don't, great. Like I'm happy on my own. And it wasn't
Right.
until I started to do what I really, really love, which is like, do this coaching program and help people and really
Mhm.
travel and get a dog and like do all the things that like really, really fulfilled me on my own. And now I'm like, okay, I'm a complete person.
Right.
So if I have a kid, it's not going to be like, wanting love from the kid because
Yeah,
you can't, that this is not going to work.
I
um,
know.
so yeah, so we want to help you and everyone else in the group get to the point of just being like, not having it come from a place of lack.
Exactly. Yeah. That makes a lot of
About that.
sense, and it's spot on. Yeah.
I'm very excited about that. But you're beautiful,
I
so who knows? Maybe there'll be some guys that are not assholes that are going to be following us. Okay, so last thing we'll cover, let's talk about the addiction stuff. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what your struggle has been like?
It's been real.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard for me right now in my life to even believe that I was the same person.
Mm-hmm.
I've had moments of abstinence. I've had moments, that I would just not drink for a while and get better, but then I would go back, and then it got to the point that I was just like, I didn't care anymore. It got, you know, because it's accumulation. Like people think that addiction is just somebody that has no willpower or somebody that's just selfish and that's just doesn't think about others, and it's really not like that. It's so hard. And for me it was um it was a way to cope with a lot of emotions, a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, and and also a way to feel happy. But the thing is that it's like more as time passes by, it's harder to live in that illusion when you see so many consequences, and it's like you could only escape so much until it catches up to you. And I ended up like really, really bad. This past year, I'd say, is when I drank the most. And I was in several detoxes. And, it got to the point that I was like asking people for money for booze. I mean, like I didn't even care about eating. I didn't care. I mean, several times I even slept outside, like in New York City, dangerous. It's
Yeah.
like on the streets and stuff. And I was just like, I had given up on everything. And then I got to the point that I'm like, all right, I'm gonna really give this a try. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna go all in and give myself a real chance, you
Mm-hmm.
know. because I guess I was at a point where I'm like, I've overcome so many things. I've faced things that I never thought I could. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not that bad. What else could I do? And let me try this. So I'm very excited now because I actually feel motivated and like I'm gaining hope, you know. So it's it's exciting. Just like I'm excited to see what's gonna happen, you know, like
Yay.
what's going to happen next week and the week after and the other week and 3 months from now, you know?
Well, I just want to acknowledge you
Yeah.
because it takes a lot of courage and bravery to do what you're doing right now. Like, there's so many people who just
Yeah.
like kill themselves or drink themselves to death or, you know what I mean, do drugs or like avoid it forever. Like you said, you can't keep running. Like people just like run, 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 and then eventually they die, you know,
Yeah.
from something reckless or whatever. So, what were you
I'm
just,
sure I would have. I'm like, so when I walked into the last detox in February, this February 6th, I I blew a 4.4
Mhm,
and the lethal number is 4.0.
mhm,
So I was walking and talking and functioning fine at 4.4.
mhm,
And that was really scary for me
mhm,
because I'm like, where were my levels at other times that I was passed out?
mhm.
And I definitely could have drank myself to death. Absolutely.
Well, you're definitely here for a reason, or else, you know, maybe you may have passed one of those times. And I feel the same about myself. Like, I remember when I was 15, I would go to a rave and take an e pill, and then I would snort half another e pill, and then I would do 12 shots, and then I would smoke angel dust, and then I would do K, snort K, and then I'd do
Yeah.
Coke, and then I'd smoke weed all in one night. And I'm like, that is
Wow.
nuts, you know? And I think subconsciously I was trying to kill myself because I had a lot of like physical, mental,
Me too.
emotional abuse and you know, I haven't done any drugs now in 11 years, and it took like, and it sounds like you're in a better place, and hopefully with this program it's gonna just, you're gonna whip through it. But for me, when I first got sober, it was like 10 months of hell. Like I had all of these thoughts, like I didn't realize like
Yeah.
how much I was just trying to repress all of that crap. And like that's
Yeah.
really what any addiction is. It's like addiction to bad men, addiction to drugs, addiction to alcohol, addiction to success,
Right.
you know, working too much. It's all to try to repress these feelings. But the good news is, which
Definitely.
we're going to do together, once we go into the feeling, it's like the fear of
Mhm.
feeling those feelings is way, way, way worse than actually feeling them, because then it just, you
Right.
feel them and then, okay, they go away. Like, you know, we might cry or whatever, get really mad, but then it passes. And people keep cutting off getting to that tipping point where the feeling starts to pass. And, you know, now people are having all these anxiety attacks and maybe all these drugs and alcohol, whatever, because they're just afraid of getting here. But like once
Yes.
we're here, it's like we're crying. It's not the end of the world, you know,
Yeah.
or we're
Yeah.
fearful, or we're angry, or you know what I mean. Um, so once we can acknowledge and be okay with those feelings and hold space for them, then we don't need all this craziness happening.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm really excited to
I am too. I
do that
really
with
am.
you. And then I guess the last thing I said that was going to be the last thing, but do you want to talk about your childhood at all? Because I feel like that always plays a part in, you know, who we
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, just a little bit. My parents were divorced when I was 8. Um, I was uh, I was raised up until I was 8 in Freeport, Long Island.
mm-hmm.
And when my parents got divorced, my mother had custody of me and my sisters, and we went to Georgia for a year because she wanted to go back to Costa Rica, where she's from, and so she wanted to like save money. And so those were very drastic changes for me. It was like going from New York, leaving my everybody I knew, to Georgia, and then from Georgia to Costa Rica, and just like is like shock after shock to me. Having to adjust, having to like it was scary. It was very scary. And I had severe anxiety. I guess I was depressed. I didn't really know because you're a kid, you don't know.
Mhm.
Um, and I've moved a lot throughout my life. It's I feel like it's probably impacted me in a way that it's difficult for me to stay in one place.
Mhm.
I've often jumped around, from state to state, city to city, stuff like that. And I used to joke around and be like, I'm just a gypsy. But, it's like I could only do that so many times before I realized I'm like, I'm unstable. I'm unstable and I don't have a home to call my own.
Mhm.
And that gives anxiety, and it's like, what is wrong with me? So I that also is maybe one of the reasons why it's been hard for me to have my own place. Like I've rented a room here and there, or I would crash at friends' places, but I'm like, okay, it's not fun
Mhm.
anymore.
And how old are
So
you?
how old am I? I'm 36.
Okay, I'm 35.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, you don't look 35.
I hate saying my age, but for you, I'll put it out
Yeah.
there.
Well, you don't look 36, so that's awesome.
No, we look good for our
Yeah,
age.
exactly. um, okay, yeah. I mean, I really like, that you say that, first of all, you're so self-aware, and I love that because it's going to be so nice to work with you because you're open and you're self-aware. Because I think like that's the most important thing because so many people like don't want to take a look at what might,
Mm-hmm.
need adjusting within themselves. And I really like that about you that you're like, yeah, this is what could be, going on. So it's awesome. It's really brave. And um, I love that you said like for you, the moving was traumatic and, it made it hard for you to cope because so many people like I had a crazy, like had a really crazy, upbringing where my mom had like a broken bone, a broken collarbone in front of me. And she would get home and be all beat up and her hair ripped out and her clothes ripped off because she would get into bar fights. And my dad would come home and I would hug him and he would just fall over and break my easel. And it was like just a lot of insanity and like
Chaos.
cops and all this stuff. But like, and a lot of people feel like maybe, their parents got divorced, but it was like amicable but they might feel like, oh, I shouldn't be, this affected by this because it wasn't so bad. But like the reality is
Mm.
it doesn't matter. Like pretty much for a kid, like anything is traumatic. Like moving so many
That's right.
times and not feeling like you have a home and not having like a solid group of friends or whatever is traumatic. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, what we experience or like what level the insanity is, like it still impacts us. And I love how you created that association with the moving. And the same thing with like that's why you like to move a lot or maybe not have your own place, because the same thing with me, like I probably moved like 30 times like before I was like 20, and so after that I was moving constantly. And this place I've been here for like 4 years, which is like a lot for me.
Wow.
But I'm like, I love it here. So that was my goal, to get somewhere where I love. So I would love to, support
Yeah.
you. I'm excited for us to support you in the group to like get, somewhere that you can call your own and your home and that you love it. 'Cause it's like so important. So,
Yeah.
so tomorrow is our first group. And is there any other intentions that we haven't touched on that you also want to accomplish in these next 12 weeks?
Um, Definitely my spirituality, because I've I've always been very highly intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's something that I've had a love-hate relationship with, that part of me. It's kind of like a little afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then a part of me wants to embrace it. And there's been like so much confusion. Um, it's definitely been a journey for me to find a God of my understanding, you know. But like really more than anything, something I really believe in,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like a lot of us say that we believe things, but we truly don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something I'm definitely working on, like being disciplined about what is my maintenance? What does it require for me to be okay each day, to be inspired, to take care of myself?
Mhm.
So, and, I struggled for about 13 years with, and I'm still getting over it, like some physical, like chronic pain and like a lot of misalignment in my body. Um, then I had pneumonia last year. Before that, I had an inflamed spleen. It's like, I know that it's all connected. Everything's connected, mental, spiritual, physical. So I want to be okay, I guess, within myself. And, so I could really stand on my 2 feet. And so yeah, for me, it's requiring stretching and things like that, but I know there's so much more to it. Um, so I definitely need help in that department.
Well, it's perfect. It's literally perfect because
It might sound like a lot, though.
no. This program for me is helping people mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So, and mentally. So all of it. So it's not too much. Um,
Mm.
and we're gonna work on the pain. And then after we stop the recording, I want to talk to you about some health stuff. But
Okay.
can you tell the audience what was your experience like when we had our session about the pain last time?
Yes, it was really interesting. So I felt like I went into a hypnosis. I was like really relaxed, and I was able to. We targeted a part of my body that was feeling the most pain and tension, and then backtracked it to a time when I was 8. And it was just very lucid, very, very lucid. And then we went all the way to my future to see who I was, like what I looked like, what had I accomplished. And so future me, her name was Emma, and then future me came to little me and put her hand on my belly and was passing strength over. And so the pain that was on my back was getting smaller and smaller. And then towards the end, I didn't have any. And I felt like really warm in my belly. So it was like it happened. Then the next day, this was even funnier. When I went on Amazon, I was like, I'm going to look for Middle Eastern jewelry. And I scrolled down on the page. I had to take a screenshot of it. There was a picture with like these bracelets, and it said Emma on it,
That was
and
great.
it said something like follow your dream or some message like that. I was like, what are the odds of that? Like, how does that even happen? So I get excited with synchronicity, with things like that. It's like such a sign.
I agree. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely all related, and that's what I'm trying to do now. It's like the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, it's all related. And so, this program is designed to work at all of it at the same time. So it's going to be a lot, but are you ready to take it all on?
I'm super ready.
Yay! Okay, awesome. So we're gonna end here. I'm gonna stop the recording and then stay on with me, and we want to talk about the health stuff. But everyone, pay attention every Friday. So today's Tuesday, so this Friday at 5, we are going to be keeping up with Erika and seeing how her weekly meetings with the group are going. All right, thank you, everyone.
Bye.